Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock on a Tuesday, which means it's time for Magic News. This is where I bring to you all of the news that's happened over the course of the week. And again, I'm filming this in my my office at home. Very sorry about that. This last couple of weeks has been the busiest time of my life, and I'm not even having time to go into the office, my main office, to be able to film videos. So I'm very sorry. Hopefully, when I get back from Magic Live, things will be going back to normal. But I'd rather have a video put up like this than not have a video up at all. So I'm really sorry. I'm trying my absolute best to make sure that all the content continues to come out for you. I'm just having kind of the busiest summer of my life, which is mad. But I hope you guys are having a good time. I hope you're having a good summer. We are officially in summer now. And there's a load of news. Now, if you've never seen the Magic News before, I'm going to break down everything that's happened. It tends to be a bit of a slower news around about this time of the year. Things tend to slow down and then kick back up, ready for sort of the lead up into Christmas. Now, having said that, there is a lot going on at the moment, and we're going to go through all of it. So without further ado, let's get into this week's Magic News. Okay, so the first item of news I've got is that Vanish magazine, which has been running now for many, many years, created by the legend that is Paul Rohamani, Vanish magazine have launched a podcast, and it's called Beyond the Secrets by Vanish magazine, and it's hosted by Jordana Borenstein. I think I've completely butchered that name, and if I have, I'm very sorry. I have actually met Jordana at Magic Live a couple of times, and she's very, very nice, very, very lovely. And it's a brand new podcast as part of the Vanishing magazine family, the Vanish magazine family, and it's bloody good. If you've not seen it yet, if you've not seen the first episode, go and check it out. It's on all the major podcasting platforms. You can go check it out immediately. The first episode, Jordana interviews Shin Lim. Talk about starting big. I mean, you know, one of the biggest names in Magic. You're bringing him on as a guest in the first episode, and it's a real fascinating listen. Now, I know a lot of people in Magic like listening to podcasts, and they're always looking for a new podcast to listen to. This one is great. It's brilliant. I would highly recommend that you go and listen to it. So there you go. Vanish magazine, Beyond the Secrets. And the first episode is live now. So, second piece of news, the legendary illusionist Hans Klok had an injury during a show he did last week, quite a serious injury. He was actually stabbed through his arm during an act with sabers. So, I've not seen this act, or I don't think I have, but apparently it's one of his signature pieces. It's an iconic act where it sounds a little bit like the spike wrap illusion or the sword basket illusion, but the twist is that audience members are putting these sabers through him while he's inside this box, which sounds mental. And apparently one of the sabers went right through his arm. He ended up in hospital. Luckily, they didn't hit any major arteries or muscles, so there's no real major damage. But I mean, he's very, very, very lucky. And that's the thing about being an illusionist. It is dangerous. You know, I do the spike wrap illusion on my daughter Thea, and on Ryland. Ryland does it on Thea. And, it's dangerous. You know, the amount of times that Ryland has been hit with a spike. He did the tour with Killian last summer. He was going on tour with Killian every single day. They were in a different theatre. And part of the show was Killian doing spike wrap on Ryland. And, the amount of times that Ryland got hit with a spike is just, I can't tell you. It is dangerous being an illusionist. It's not a... It's actually a dangerous thing to do. So there you go. I'm glad Hans Klok is on the mend, and if you're planning on getting into illusions, be careful. Okay, worth noting that Magic Live is coming up this weekend. So Magic Live is probably, I would say at this point, the second biggest Magic convention in the world. And it takes place in Las Vegas at the Orleans Hotel. And it's starting this weekend. Now, Magic Live is a little bit strange compared to other Magic conventions because they don't really tell you what's going to happen. There's a lot of surprises that they tend to have in store. So you don't really know all the artists, but everybody is always excited every year for Magic Live. This year is no exception. Now, as I have for the last few years, I'm going to be on the Penguin Magic stand at Magic Live. So if you are coming to Magic Live and you want to come along and say hi, I would love to see you. I would love to come over and chat. I will be on the Penguin booth all day, every day, and then in the evening I'll be in the bar. And I'll have lots of magic. My favourite thing at conventions is sitting down, chatting to people, talking to people, seeing magic, performing magic. So come along and say hi, because I would love to see you. But there you go. If you're coming to Magic Live this weekend, let me know down below. I want to know if you're coming along. Roll call. Let me know down below if you're coming to Magic Live this year. Talking about Magic Live, I know that there's going to be some new tricks coming out. So let me tell you what I know of. So Trick Boom, here's a big sort of scoop for you. Trick Boom are obviously going to have their new items that they had at Blackpool. So they brought out a couple of new items at Blackpool. They will have those at Magic Live. But as well as the items that they brought out at Blackpool, they're also going to have 2 new tricks. Now, the first trick that they're going to have is something that I know Roddy and Noel have been working on since Trick Boom first got formed. And I love this. I have seen early prototypes of this, and I've played with it many times when I've met up with Noel, and it is one of the coolest things that I've ever seen. It's not really a trick, although it could be a trick. It's more of a utility item that's going to make you look like the coolest person in the room, in any room, ever. And I'm really not kidding about that. This is just James Bond level ingenuity, and I think that every magician is going to want to get one of these. So that's the first thing. They're launching at Magic Live, and they're also launching a Craig Petty product. That's right. I got a chance to work with Roddy and Noel. I've got a bucket list of companies that I've always wanted to work with, and Trick Boom were right up there, and we found the right project. We've been working on it for a few months, and it's getting its soft release at Magic Live. It's not going to be available online or anything just yet, but it is one of my favourite pieces to do. I came up with this about a year and a half ago, started putting it into my walk around set. It's designed to sort of a close-up walk around type thing. Put it into my set about a year and a half ago, and it's not come out since. It's very visual. It's very different. If you know Trick Boom, it's very Trick Boom. That's the best thing I can say about it. It's very Trick Boom. And you know what? I think it wins an award for the shortest Craig Petty tutorial of all time, because it's self-working and it's relatively easy to do, and there's not really anything you can do beyond the routine. I think it's like a 20-minute tutorial. I know. Sit down. Shocker. Craig Petty releases 20-minute tutorial. Magic industry just grinds to a halt. But yeah, I mean, I'll have it at Magic Live, obviously, and Noel and Roddy will be demming it on the stand. But look out for it. I'll tell you right now, it's called Ape. A-P-E. I'm not going to tell you any more. You're going to have to go and check it out at Magic Live. So Trick Boom are bringing out 2 tricks. Alakazam are bringing out a trick as well. I don't know how many new tricks. I think that, well, they've got all of the new stuff from Blackpool, which was a plethora of magic, like 6 or 7 routines. They're also bringing out a new trick for Magic Live by Risky Nanda. Okay, now, obviously, if you don't know Risky Nanda, he's brought out some incredible magic over the years. He's working with Alakazam, and he's bringing out a trick, which is one of the most baffling, incredible tricks that you will ever see. When I first saw it, I couldn't understand how it worked. It made no sense to me. It's called Cube Mix, and it's based on Rubik's Cubes, but it's not a trick with a Rubik's Cube. Instead, it's something very, very different. Now, the reason I know about this is because Alakazam asked me to do the tutorial for it. So the tutorial is done by me. There's about 7 or 8 routines on there. There's about another 4 or 5 ideas on there. Tons of live performances. And I went out and I filmed the tutorial and the live performances yesterday. You know, Nemid Phoenix was filming it for me, and it was, you know, Nemid was like, "Oh, well, this is actually really good." And then when he watched the performances, he's like, "Oh my God, I really want to do this. Like, this is a super fun trick to perform." So it's called Cube Mix. I know that Pete and Harry will be demming it on the Alakazam stand. And if you see me in the bar, I will happily show it to you. So that's not my trick, but obviously I created a lot of the routines with it. It's really good. And then I'll be on the Penguin booth, and Penguin have got a couple of new items. Now, they've got travelling chips, which sold out at FISM. That was a sellout at FISM, and for good reasons. It's bloody amazing. Travelling chips is amazing. I did a review show special on it about a week ago. Check that out. But also, we're going to have 2 Craig Petty releases at Penguin. 2 brand new, never seen before, released for the first time right there. And the first one is called Game Night. I'm not going to tell you anything about that other than if you like Trivial Pursuit and you want to do something that's just going to blow people away, this is it. This is super commercial. I'll get more into Game Night at some point in the future. However, the other one is a trick called Key Cutter. Now, Key Cutter is actually Keyvolution by Mark Leverage. So it's actually by Craig Petty and Mark Leverage. Keyvolution, if you guys remember it, was my favourite Mark Leverage trick of all time. And obviously, I'm known for doing tricks with keys. The Keymaster has been ridiculously popular. Gatekeeper has been ridiculously popular. And I had this dream of wanting to do a self-cutting key with the Keymaster range, so everything all fits together. And the best self-cutting key is Keyvolution. So I reached out to Mark Leverage, and we chatted back and forth, and I obtained the rights. Excuse me, I obtained the rights to Keyvolution, which we've then produced to match the Keymaster gimmicks. So this matches the Keymaster keys, and this is the best walk-around trick ever. If anybody remembers Keyvolution, you'll know how good this is. The gimmicks are being custom designed to Mark's specifications. They are as good as ever before, and I've pettified it insofar as I've put a ton of different routines on there. So it's not just one moment of magic now. There's a load of stuff that you can do. But I'm telling you right now, in a walk-around situation, this is really for a walk-around performer. If you do walk-around, or you're a social performer and you do it socially, or you do mix and mingle, this is the best. I'm telling you right now, this is the best opener you will ever see. Bar none. I'm going on record as saying anything I ever create ever again, I don't think it'll be as good as this, because I didn't create it. Mark Leverage did. I've just added to it. But it's brilliant. It is the best opener ever, especially if you're going to use this to transition into something like Gatekeeper or Keymaster. If you do Keymaster, brilliant. But even if it's a standalone trick, just having it on your key fob, forget about it. So there you go. That's the new stuff that I know of at Blackpool. Obviously, Mark Mason will be there. He's going to have a ton of stuff that he released at Blackpool. I know that there's going to be new stuff coming out from a variety of different companies. I'm positive Vanishing Ink will have something new. They tend to do. They'll have the Marlo magazines there, I'm guessing, as well. So it's really exciting. But there you go. Those are the exclusives that I know of. There you go. Okay, I mentioned this just briefly there, but Vanishing Ink have bought out the Marlo magazines, a deluxe and a standard edition. The deluxe edition has already sold out. I'll be doing a review show special on this shortly. But if you like reading books and you want an unlimited amount of material, then you need to get this. Vanishing Ink have a name for themselves as being the #1 company when it comes to bringing out books, for good reason. They just do it better than anyone else. Fact. And the Marlo magazines are probably my favourite Vanishing Ink release. They even edge talk about tricks. Wow, I know. They even edge talk about tricks. It's great. It's fantastic. It's brilliant. It's wonderful. Pick whatever sentiment you want. These things are amazing. You can get them from Vanishing Ink. They have a standard version. The deluxe version sold out. I don't know if they're going to have more deluxe, but they have an ebook version as well. They even have an ebook version and a physical version. So yeah, if you're looking for something that's going to keep you busy for a very long time, pick up the Marlo magazines, because honestly, they've done an incredible job on these. Okay, so I want to talk as well about my friend Nemid Phoenix. So my friend Nemid Phoenix, who runs the YouTube channel Magician Levels Up, has just gone into his second season of Magician Levels Up. So if you don't know, Nemid is leveling up in every aspect of his life. He's leveling up his health, he's leveling up his business, he's leveling up his magic ability, which is difficult to do because he's an incredible magician. But he's leveling up and he's documenting it all on YouTube. So he's got a YouTube channel, Magician Levels Up, where he basically blogs and vlogs everything that he's doing. So if you want to level up as well, you're learning along with Nemid. You're both learning at the same time. And Nemid knows nothing about a lot of this stuff. So he's learning about it and he's actioning it. And it's very inspirational. And he gets a lot of experts on to talk about various different things as well. He's just had my friend Phil Smith on, and it was an amazing interview. I've interviewed Phil a few times, but Nemid was specifically speaking to Phil about branding, and Phil went really deep into this, including how to how important the font is and how you can attach emotions to fonts. Just fascinating stuff. So you can go and check out Nemid's channel on Magician Levels Up on YouTube. And like I said, he does it in 4 sort of sections throughout the year. So he's just had year 1, which is like a 12-week year. He's now going into year 2. And he started strong with Phil Smith. So there you go. That's Magician Levels Up. He also has a Facebook page as well called Magicians Level Up, where people are like talking and chatting about how they can improve and how they can level up as well. Go and check all of that stuff out. It's a very inspirational YouTube channel. I've got a few other things to speak about, but first of all, let's just look at some of the new tricks that are coming out at the moment. Now, this is not a review. I'm not reviewing these because I haven't got them yet. But what I am doing is I'm basing my initial opinion on the trailers and the ad copy that I've seen on various different magic shops. So first of all, you've got Perfect Glass by Henry Harrius, which is a production glass, basically, but it's a very high quality production glass. Everything that Henry puts his name to is always exceptional in terms of quality, and I fully expect this to be no different at all. You've got Legacy, Legends and Lies, which is a almost 260-page book by Lee Earl, talking about his life in magic. Lee Earl is a very interesting character, and probably don't know as much about him as I should. I'm definitely going to pick up that book, although my hands are full at the moment with the Marlo magazines, but it will go into my reading after I've finished the Marlo magazines. Now, an interesting item that's just been advertised is 4 Seasons by Gustavo Serrano and G Magic. G Magic always bring out good stuff. They've brought out something called 4 Seasons, which is effectively a colouring book. But instead of colouring in pictures, what's happening is as you flick through the book, you're seeing different seasons of the year: spring, summer, autumn, or fall for our American cousins, winter. And so, you can actually have the book change based on the season that you're talking about, which would be really great from an educational point of view. If you do sort of school shows, or you do shows where you want to put an educational element into it while still being magical, that sounds like a really great idea. I think kids entertainers, I think that's worth its weight in gold. I don't know for sure. I haven't got it yet, but G Magic stuff is normally very good, and the idea behind that is great. You've also got the BH Bill production by Juan Pablo, and Juan Pablo brings out a lot of magic. I do find some of it is hit and miss. This on the trailer looks great. He basically shows his hands empty, and boom, he makes a bill appear, drops it, boom, makes another bill appear. Does that 5 times. The ad copy says that you can do a bare-handed production of 5 bills. Now, if I was a manipulator, I would be racing to get this thing. I don't know what the quality is. I don't know what the technique is, but it looks great. He shows his hands empty every single time, and then boom, another bill. I mean, imagine it's some sort of Sonata gimmick, but I don't see how you can get a full flash production of a bill that quickly. Now, it's in euros and it's in US dollars. I didn't see a sterling version, so maybe the polymer makes it not work with sterling, but if you're a stage performer, I showed this to Ryland. I'm like, dude, this is something you need to get because you do a lot of money productions anyway. That would be really good. So, yeah, it looks great. I can't tell you about the quality, but it looks great. Now, we've also got Ghost by Jordan Victoria. The ad copy in the trailer says that this came out a few years ago. And now it's been brought back out. And effectively, it's a moment in an ambitious card where you take the selected card, you put it face up into the middle of the deck, and then boom, all of a sudden on the top of the deck, the card starts to morph into view. It's like not there, but it's like partially there. And then boom, you then do it again, and now the card's on top and you can hand it out and have a look at it. It looks great. I mean, if you do an ambitious card, and let's be honest, if you're a magician, you do an ambitious card, and you want to have an extra element in there, that would be very good. I don't know what the setup is. I don't know how practical it is, but from the trailer, it looks great. Now, Penguin have just brought out Princess Test by Eric Casey. So, Princess Test is the princess card trick, but it's using the same methodology that Eric Casey has used in the previous two tests. So he brought out Poker Test, where the cards turn blank and blue back to red back and so on and so forth. That was very, very popular. Then he brought out the Oil and Water version of the sort of the test series, which was popularized by Jackie Yu, but was very, very, very well done. And so now they've brought out Princess Test, and they've taken the same methodology, so we know how it works. It's going to be completely self-working. They've taken the same methodology and applied it to the Princess card trick. So effectively, you show somebody 5 cards, you take one out, you put it on their hand, you show them that you've taken their card, and then the card on their hand has turned blank. Which is a really nice idea, because it means that you can show the fronts and the backs of all of the princess cards, which you normally can't do with a princess card trick. So this is quite a smart idea. I mean, it's obvious how it works if you've got any of Eric Casey's other tricks. That makes me want to get it even more, because the princess card trick is a great trick, and applying it to this, great idea. Well done, Mr. Casey. Well done, Eric Casey. That's great. You got Flea by Brian Kadikasa. Flea by Brian Kadikasa. That's right, Flea. I'll be honest, I can't remember much about Flea. I've got it on my little list that I just looked at. I can't fully remember. It didn't make much of an impact on me, but which is a shame. I mean, it's new out. I can't really remember what it was, to be perfectly honest. Maybe it'll come to me, but Flea is out. The Wonder Cube by Takamiza Sui and Henry Harrius. The Wafer Cube, not the Wonder Cube. The Wafer Cube by Takamiza Sui and Henry Harrius. Now, if you don't know Takamiza Sui, he is basically the godfather of modern cube magic. If it wasn't for him, then a lot of the stuff that we do with cubes would not exist, right? It's just a simple fact. Takami's teaming up with Henry Harrius is a big thing. The Wafer Cube looks great. Effectively, what it is it's a cube that you can squash flat, and it still mixes, and it can squash flat, and then you can put it in your wallet. It looks like the sort of thing that would be brilliant at the end of a cube routine. And Henry's cube stuff is normally the best in the world. You team him up with Takamiza Sui. Wow. I mean, talk about amazing, right? Now, as well as the Wafer Cube, they've brought out the Ultimate RD Shell by Takamiza Sui and Henry Harrius. And the Ultimate RD Shell is basically a shell for a Rubik's Cube. It's the thinnest one ever. And then you've got Takamiza Sui going through a bunch of original routines, including his color routine. You've got Henry Harrius going through a bunch of routines as well. But apparently this is the best cube shell ever made. That's saying something coming from Henry, who has made a career as a creator, creating shells for cubes. So that sounds really good as well. And then finally, you've got Epic Writer version 2 by James Anthony. And this is a thumb writer, a boom writer, a thumb writer. But what's really interesting about this, according to James Anthony, is you can change the nib. So you can actually have it as a big pen if you want to. You can change it to a different color. You can change it as much as you want to, because traditionally a lot of thumb writers are pencil, and this is not pencil. So this seems like a really good idea. The trailer's very honest and tells you exactly what you need to know. I've been using thumb writers for a long time, so I'm very excited to see what this one's like. But there you go. That's your wrap up of everything that's come out recently. There you go. Okay, I've just looked up Flea. And the reason I've just looked up Flea is I wanted to know what it was. And it actually looks pretty decent. It's a vanishing deck. So the whole idea is that you have a deck here, and you have them pick a card, and then boom, the entire deck vanishes at the fingertips, except for the card they're thinking of. It looks like a variation on an old gimmick, but it's an interesting idea. It looks good. I mean, that's part of the battle, right, with the vanishing deck. It looks really good. I'm not too sure what the setup would be like to get into that position. Again, this is just speculation because I don't own it. But if it works as I think it does, I think that would be quite a difficult trick to set up on the fly in front of a group of spectators. I'm not too sure. But the reason that I wanted to look at what Flea was is because I was looking at the notes that I make. I actually make notes. I'm organised about this sort of stuff. And I've got a note here where I say, talk about trailers, e.g. Flea. And that's why I went and looked at Flea. And it reminded me, this is not going to be a long segment, but if you are a production company or you're a creator and you create magic and you are planning on putting a trailer out to tell people about that magic, can we please try and up the production quality a little bit? Flea, for example, was filmed in a kitchen. It was just filmed in someone's kitchen. And there's no effort that's gone into to try and hide that it's in a kitchen. It's just in a kitchen. They haven't tried to hide that. It's like, no, there's the cooker right there on the side. There's the knives that they use to obviously make their dinner. It's just in a kitchen. And the thing is, I talked earlier on about how I've just filmed this thing for Alakazam. That's coming out of Blackpool, this cube mix for Risky Nanda. I went and I hired a studio. And, we went and filmed there with a proper camera setup. We did B-roll, we did pitches against a white wall. And then we went out and we did live performances to real people. I don't understand why people aren't putting more effort into the trailers. If you've got a trick that you believe is good and you've spent time working on it, and you should have spent time working on it, why aren't you actually going out and putting the best job that you can do into the trailer? It'd be very easy for me to half-arse a trailer, especially something like that cube mix. It's not even my trick. I could have just turned around to Pete and said, yeah, I filmed it in my kitchen and I've just done a performance to Nemid. There you go. That's all you got. And, there's nothing that Pete could say. Just, all right, cheers. But I wouldn't do that because I respect the people who buy. If my name's attached to something and somebody buys it, I hope that they expect a certain level of production quality or they expect a certain level of tutorial. And if that's not there, I'd feel like I cheated them. So, I'm going to put 100% in regardless of whether it's my product or not my product. I don't understand why people aren't doing live performances these days. I've mentioned this before on the channel, but it baffles my brain. If you are a creator and you've spent years creating a trick, why would you not want to put the trailer together as best as you can? Why would you not want to go out and get live performance footage? Why would you not want to go out and get reactions? Because, hey, if you get reactions of people seeing the trick, first of all, people can see it. They can see it performed in the real world. They know that it's a working trick. And then secondly, they'll be able to have a clearer idea of what the trick is, as opposed to, using Flea as an example, which is just a collection of like 5 or 6 visual moments where it's just done to camera. It would be better if we had actual performances so we can see the trick done in the real world. We can see that, I watched the Flea trailer and off the back of it I was like, I don't know if that's going to work. I can't see how you could set that up in front of a real audience. That question is taken completely off the table if there's a performance of somebody walking up to a group doing the trick. That's the most valuable thing. It doesn't have to be Michael Bay. It doesn't have to be the old Illusionist trailers where you're walking to camera and you're like, hey, I've got this trick. It doesn't need to be any of that. But I want to see what the bloody trick is, and I want to see how people react to that trick. And if a creator is not including live performances, doesn't that make you question, like, why would they not? It's so easy to get them, even just on an iPhone. Why would they not? What does that tell us? That the trick's maybe not as good? I don't know. I'm not saying that's the case, but if you're a creator, if you're a production company, please put some effort into your trailers, because that's the least that you should do. You put all of the hard work, you've put the trick together, you've prototyped it, you've come up with the routine or the routines or whatever, you've scripted it, you've made the gimmicks, you've packaged it, you've gone through all of that trouble, you've done the tutorial, you've done all this, you've done all that, you've sent review copies out, it's all happened. Just put some effort into the trailer and put some live performances in there as well. Okay, we've nearly reached the end. One more thing that I want to mention is that the Penguin podcast, Eric Tate obviously hosts the Penguin podcast, Penguin Magic podcast. I was on the latest edition and I was talking about the whole video that I made about Yiga Masika. Eric asked me to come on and answer some questions and I said yes. And I did share on there an update, which is that Murphy's Magic, to their credit, have restocked Air Flight off the back of everything that happened over the course of that video. So thanks to, Austin Murphy reached out to me and explained the situation to me himself. And he said, hey, we're absolutely stocking Air Flight. Really appreciate it. And so it's back up for sale in every single magic shop around the world, which is amazing because Mark Bennett deserves this. He's an amazing person. So if you haven't seen the Penguin podcast, please listen to it. It's on their YouTube channel. It's also on all of the various podcasting platforms. Go and listen to it. Go and give it a watch. And thank you, Eric, for the platform. I really appreciate it. Okay, finally, the Savant Deck has been out for about a month now, and thank you to everyone that's picked it up. We have almost 600 members in the Savant Facebook group, sharing some fantastic ideas. So if you are in the Savant Facebook group, thank you so much for being in there. Thank you so much for sharing your ideas. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And yeah, if you're not in the group and you've got the Savant Deck, go and join. Just go on Facebook and type in Savant Deck, and it's the official discussion group for the Savant Deck. Go and join, and we're discussing some really cool ideas in there. And I'm going to be doing another video or two very, very soon on the Savant Deck. But to everybody that's already a member, already picked it up, anyone who's picked up the Savant Deck, thank you so much on behalf of me and Lloyd Barnes. So there you go, guys. That's another Magic News in the bag. Thank you once again for joining me right here on Magic TV. Now, don't forget, you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to come over and say hi if you're at Magic Live. Come and join me for a beer. And also, and probably the most important thing, if you haven't joined the Netrix, please do so. It's my online streaming platform for magicians. It's the netrix.com. You can get access immediately, and there are literally hundreds and hundreds of tricks on there. I'm not going to try and sell you on it. We're going to move on now, but I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Craig. This has been Magic News, and this is Magic TV.